I work at a children's gym. I'm not going to say the company, and I have nothing against the company. I love the company that I work for, and for the first time in a long time, I really enjoy what I do. At the children's gym, we have classes for various age groups, as well as once a month, we do something called a Parents' Night Out, where parents drop off their potty trained kids under the age of 10, and we play games and eat pizza and just have a good time. I'm still fairly new to this company, and I did my very first Parents' Night Out last month. I was just learning how to lead. So, most of the time, I was kind of running around like a chicken with its head cut off. But, anyways, Parents' Night Out happens, and everything is going fine. Pizza arrived, and we sat the kids down to eat. This one kid does not want pizza because he says he doesn't like pizza. I'm like, okay, I don't know what else to give him because there is no other food. I tried to call his grown up and explain the situation, but we had a power outage a couple nights before and it completely screwed up the phone, so I was not able to make a call. So I go to the staff room and I get him goldfish crackers and a granola bar. The snacks for the staff because there was nothing else I could give him. The entire time we're all eating dinner, he keeps looking at me like I killed his entire family. Anyways, the night goes on and it's uneventful. All the kids go home and nothing goes wrong. Until the next day. My manager gets a call from this kid's mom and she is livid. Turns out this kid has an egg allergy and had brought his own food apparently. Her son, who was about 4, told her that he was not allowed to go to his bag and get the food that he had brought. My manager was very calm and explained that what she said was probably not true. And my manager was right. I was not aware of her son's egg allergy. I did not know that on his file it says that he has an egg allergy. If I had known in advance that her son had an egg allergy, I would have let him go to his bag and get his food. But her son did not say anything and I was not made aware by anyone. And the day after that, Karen comes in to drop her son off for an independent class because he is older and she recognizes me from when she dropped him off for Parents' Night Out. And she got so mad at me, screaming at me that I was starving her son. She called me stupid and inconsiderate and I should be fired. I explained the situation and I told her what my manager told her as well. She stormed off and left her kid there and we went on with the class. After the class, we took the kids downstairs to give them back to their parents, and the kid's dad was there to pick him up, and he heard what had happened from his wife, and I explained the whole situation again, including what happened at Parents' Night Out. He apologized and said that I did nothing wrong. I did the best that I could, and that next time the kid comes to Parents' Night, he will leave a reminder that he has an egg allergy and his own food. I said thank you, and I'm sorry if I had known I would have let him get his food. And that's the end of that story. I'm apologizing for rambling, but this bothers me so much because I'm a people pleaser and I wish I had done more to not have that kid look at me like that and to avoid his mother. But anyways, at the end of the day, everything is fine. Edit. Both my managers were surprised that the parents didn't mention the egg allergy beforehand because they always did on Parents' Night Out. And my managers have created a little cheat sheet beside each computer to help us guide on the navigation system. And my managers have created a little cheat sheet beside each computer to help us guide us on how to navigate the system. Also, the phone is now fixed. And finally, my coworkers and my managers have expressed interest to our boss about taking some sort of childcare class. We deal with a lot of kids, and we would like to educate ourselves. I had better handle a situation when it comes to things like allergies and especially autism, because we deal with a lot of kids with autism. We emailed the owner quite often about this, but because my workplace is a franchise, she has to put everything by corporate, which can be a pain. Yes, this mom is an EP and she shouldn't have yelled at you. The kid wasn't starving and you didn't deprive them. However, food allergies are a serious business. Your place of employment, and by proxy you, was responsible for the child's safety. You can't expect a 4-year-old to be able to communicate all of that info effectively. If your boss doesn't get a better system in place, someone will end up very sick or sued. I talked to both my managers about it, and both of them have dealt with that kid before, and they both said that the parent always reminds the person working that night of the egg allergy. But for some reason, the mom forgot to tell me. and I forgot to add it in, but after the incident, they wrote down a cheat sheet and put it next to the computer on how to use the system and to call them if we had any more questions. Frankly, I can see why she would be annoyed. Let's just recap. Her kid has a food allergy, so to prevent any risk, she packed her kid some food. His allergy is recorded in his file and has previously reminded staff members on drop-off about his allergy. So far, the mom is doing everything right. You tried to call the kid's parents but couldn't because of a power outage that happened days ago. You gave the kid food that wasn't theirs, exposing a child to a potential allergy. You never checked their file to check for an allergy, but apparently checked it for the parent's phone number. You relied on a 4-year-old to tell you about a medical condition. How the hell would contact the parents if a child got hurt? Do you not have any medication on site if a child gets a reaction? Antihistamine? EpiPens? I think your company needs to check their policies. I wonder the same thing about the phone. If you were unable to make calls, then how would you have dealt with the emergency? Did none of the staff have a cell phone? Also, it sounds like the staff had dealt with this parent before, so why did none of them recall having an allergy? I'm not suggesting OP was entirely at fault. It's more the company. They're responsible for making sure the staff they hire are properly trained, and that policies and procedures are clear. I get why OP went and got the child's snack. It makes sense on the surface. If the company had provided the staff with proper training on childcare, though then she would not have known to do that. But the mom didn't need to react with so much hostility, especially since she had no problem leaving her child there again. So I went to visit my mom. She lives in another country. We're both in Europe. This was in August 2019. One evening, she wanted to visit a bar with the 3 of us. My fiancé was there too. I was not feeling really well, but I accepted as it was the last weekend we were gonna be there. The bar only opened on Saturday. I wasn't gonna put on a bra, but my back hurt, and the bra made it worse. Plus, I didn't feel like putting on makeup. Nothing I should give explanations to others, I thought. When I came out of the room and said I was ready to go, my mom looked at me and said that I had to put on a bra and a makeup. I said I couldn't wear a bra and that I didn't want to wear makeup. She knew I was not feeling okay. Well, she started saying that it's rude not wearing makeup in public, that I should make myself pretty. It's impolite to go outside like this. I have no respect for others and myself, that she won't go in public with me if I go look like that. That people will criticize me, and when I leave, they will criticize her as a bad mom. I was wearing normal clothes for a small village, for a small ugly bar, with lots of drunk, impolite people. They're always the same. I was not gonna go eat with a king. I told her that I'm okay with people criticizing me because it doesn't matter what we do, people will always find something about us to criticize, and that I feel pretty with or without makeup. I don't need it. I don't share her insecurities. I don't want her to try to give them to me too. Well, she started saying that I should just put on makeup and the bra and stop acting like a child. Even saying that I should do it for my boyfriend because he wanted to go there. No, he didn't. He knows how my mom acts when she's drunk. Well, we didn't go anywhere because she refused to go out with me. So I stayed in bed, resting, and she went to the bar with a friend. 1 hour after, I heard she came back, vomited in the bathroom, and went to sleep. She still thinks the same. She's looking for an enabler. If everyone is doing the same thing, it's approval for her. As far as the makeup and bra, she's under the narcissistic impression that she's in good standing at that bar, and you should be honored that you were invited. Dress up appropriately and attend her at court. Bottom line, mom sounds like she has some blatant symptoms of alcoholism, narcissism, and unable to control the speed and amount that she drinks. Yes, she's an alcoholic. I mean, she has gone better than last year, and doesn't drink so much, but when she does, she acts so bad, I don't even want to remember any of those things. I don't wear makeup ever. I guess I'm a rude bitch who's an embarrassment to my mother. My mom stopped wearing makeup daily after she stopped working. I didn't even wear makeup to my own wedding. Can't be bothered. I did wear a bra, and I do nearly all days, but I'm not today. Today is a jammy day. However, I did a virtual meeting and I have no bra on. I'm not so big that it's super obvious. I wear a bra for me and my comfort, however, not anyone else's. Yes, girl, do it for you. We have to love ourselves first and stop thinking all time what others want or think of us. I have a huge breast and my back is really painful from it. I can't find bras of my size, so I have to wear some that don't fit them correctly, and some days they do more harm than good. Especially when I'm on my period, so I don't wear bras. I have gone to college, to the supermarket, to family dinner, without a bra. So what? No one died, it's just a piece of cloth. I wasn't naked. And about makeup, seems more important than oxygen for my mom. She preferred not going out with her daughter, who she hadn't seen in around 6 years, instead of accepting that I choose what I want to do to my body. Sorry for so much writing. In high school, my mom wouldn't let me leave the house without makeup because she said I didn't look good without it and I had too many pimples. One time I went to hang out with my boyfriend at his house and didn't wear makeup. He broke up with me about a month later. She told me it was because I didn't wear makeup that night I hung out with him. I'm in my 30s now. That shit sticks with you, but try not to let it. Guess what though? I still don't like wearing makeup. I never do now. I'm a stay-at-home mom with 2 crazy littles, and I do not have time for that crap. Do what makes you happy in the moment. Want to wear it one moment, but not the next? You do you. Damn, what's wrong with our mothers? Plus, if your daughter has plenty of pimples, give her treatment and don't let her put makeup on. It will make things worse. WTF? And that boyfriend was shit. If he didn't want you anymore because of your looks, plus your mom instead of comforting you, she blamed you. Damn, I'm angry now. I am 23 now, no kids, a wonderful fiance since I was 15, and we meet each other with no makeup. This story begins a number of years ago, with a particular dessert pastry my mother used to make, pudding pie. I didn't know why this pie was so much better than regular pudding, but it was delicious, and I would actually look forward to that pie before Thanksgiving. That's how good the pie was. Sadly, like all things, this pastry too came to an end. One year, my mother decided that the pie was too fattening for her diet and swapped some ingredients around. She swore up and down it would taste no different. Spoiler alert, it tasted like nightmares fail. Immediate and extended family protested and requested the diet abomination be banished and the delicious pie brought back. Those pleas fell on deaf ears. Eventually, Mom had enough and said she wasn't stopping anyone else from making the pie, but she wasn't doing it anymore. I assume she figured those pleas fell on deaf ears. Eventually, Mom had enough and said she wasn't stopping anyone else from making the pie, but she wasn't doing it anymore. I assume she figured nobody else would have the gumption to actually seek out the recipe and make it. She thought wrong. In the very wee hours of Thanksgiving morning, last year, I took up that gauntlet and prepared my pie in secret. I procrastinated until the literal last minute, forgot the pie needs some time to set before it can get eaten. I even managed to control myself, and not just start eating the filling. I had one small taste to make sure I didn't forget an important ingredient. I showed up for Thanksgiving lunch at my aunt's house with my pie, and there was much rejoicing. Real sugar, actual tasty ingredients. I inhaled my meal in the interest of getting to pie sooner, and may or may not have overdone it a bit. I needed some time on my feet to make room for a slice of my pie, so I stepped outside to vape and chat with the smokers. I got numerous compliments on not screwing up instant pudding in a pie tin. The actual pie was more complicated than that, but I just took the ribbing. I make it inside a beeline for the dessert table. There's my mother standing near her imposter pie, which was missing a single piece, looking like she's sucking a lemon. Whether that was from the taste of her evil pie or the fact that mine was so popular is anyone's guess. I'm certainly not brave enough to ask, but there's nary a sign of my pie. I see apple pie, pumpkin pie, tall house pie, but no pudding pie. Not even the pie tin. It couldn't be so delicious. People actually ate the tin in the 10 minutes I was outside. So I addressed the room, asked where my pie is. Several people look at one of the couches, and then away, what I saw made my blood boil. My sister is sitting on my aunt's new couch, the entire pie tin on her lap, a massive spoon in one hand, a can of whipped cream in the other, and she's going to town on my pie, which had been a little over half eaten by people who weren't complete savages before it fell in with bad company. I recall saying, "Really, sis?" Her head pops up and she looks at me like a deer in headlights. This woman, who is in her 30s mind you, has chocolate pudding and whipped cream smeared all over her face. She compounds the image of a toddler by speaking with her mouth full as she tries to justify herself. "What? Mom said someone needed to take the pie away before she caved." Reason and consideration left me. I spent hours on that pie and didn't even get to eat a single piece. I won't claim what I did next was okay. All I will say is I have yet to regret doing what I did, and I honestly can't think of any other way I could have responded. I don't think I'm the hero of this tale. All I can say is I'm not the only villain. I snorted like a little piggy. Twice. I'm not sure when the rest of the room quieted down and watched our little showdown. All I can say is it was silent when I oinked, and everyone heard it. It took a little while for what happened to actually percolate into her brain, but once my sister realized, she just stood up, sending the pie onto the floor with the pudding part face down, and flung what was in her hands away so she could cover her face and start sobbing. She sprinted to the bathroom and slammed the door shut. Then all hell broke loose and my extended family went to war with each other. A small but vocal section of the family started berating me for doing that to my sister. Neither of us are pixies, and the larger portion arguing with the smaller because who just grabs an entire pie and eats it like that? I just grabbed some napkins and did the best I could to get most of my pie out of my aunt's brand new carpet. She'd hosted Thanksgiving that year because her house had been completely remodeled with fresh paint on the walls and a brand spanking new interior. I gave my aunt a hug and apologized for the mess before I left with an otherwise Irish goodbye. She didn't say anything then, but I've spoken with my aunt since, and she said she doesn't blame me. My parents actually paid for the carpet to get steam cleaned because there was pudding everywhere, and it was a light-colored carpet. Why did my parents pay and not my sister, who works a full-time job and is otherwise allegedly a fully functional adult? Well, that's an excellent question. That's the story of how I ruined Thanksgiving last year. I hope you won't judge me too harshly. There are two non-adults in the story. Well, probably more with a hullabaloo afterwards. One, your mother, standing near the dessert table feeling tempted by the real pie you had made, and rather than adulting up and walking away, she pouts and tells the next non-adult, your sister, who took that pie away, not a bad alternative, but worse than your mother putting on her big girl pants and walking away, and then pigging out on the whole thing that is selfish, childish, and downright pig ignorant. You did the right thing bringing a dessert along that you knew many would enjoy, including yourself, no doubt, and those two brats spoiled it for everyone else, and then cooked about you calling them out on it. I'm so glad we don't have Thanksgiving in Australia. Christmas is the time when old wounds are peeled back and salt rubbed into them. I just wish that the morons who imported Black Friday would bugger off. Edit. Just reread the title. This was last year. I hope you brought along 2 of those pies this year. One for your sister and one for everyone else. I can't imagine how rough a Walmart crush would be when you've got to combat idiots in the crowd and venomous snakes, giant spiders, and paralysis ticks just to get to the store in the first place. To be fair, my mother probably said that in jest. My sister was just trying to blame the shift. Edit to add, how does one do a sook? This is an Australianism I haven't heard yet. Since the recipe was taken from you, I have an amazing pudding pie dessert that you would love. It has a cream cheese mixed layer above a handmade crust, then pudding and whipped cream on top. I'll have to get the recipe pit in the morning, made 2 of them this week, and they are made in casserole dishes. I replied to a different comment, so not sure if that one was seen. I'm sorry, your family is mad at you for making an oink sound at your grown-ass adult sister, who was sitting on the couch face smothered like a child? Laughing my ass off. I would have laughed in their faces too. Hell was wrong with them? Haha. Also, your parents paid for the carpet to get cleaned for the same reason nobody thought to tell your sister her grown ass shouldn't be eating damn pie like that. They are enablers.